Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We have to do a little side project here, and this is a 2012 Kia Soul. We're just going to do a switch out for the master window switches here on the driver's side, and I'm just going to do an instructional video on how to remove the door panel. So these are the tools necessary to remove the door panel. You're going to need a Phillips head screwdriver, or you can use a cordless if you choose to do so. I usually like to head in this direction to make the job a little easier. You're going to need a very thin-headed screwdriver, or I like to use this, which is just a small pick. The tip is a little bit sharper, so we cause less damage to the little plastic pieces that we're going to pry out. And speaking of which, a pry bar. I like to use the plastic one for the door panel trim. It causes a little bit less damage than a metal one, but you can use any kind of pry bar. I would recommend wrapping it if you're using a metal one, just to cause a little bit less of a nick into the plastic. So there's actually 5 attachment points, and the first one is right here. This will be taken out. I'll use the pick for that one. There's a little, I don't know if you can see it, there's a little notch to stick it in there. If you stick a flathead in something like this, it does have a tendency to scar up the plastic, so I try to do as minimal damage as possible, and the pick really helps with that one. This is down number 2, so if I pan away, you can see it's underneath the door pull, and looks like someone is just trying to get in there already, because you can see where the damage was done when they put that little tab off. So there's a Phillips head screwdriver under there. There's a Phillips head, screw under here as well. That's number 2. And then on the inside, you'll see these little heads will come off, the little plastic caps. That's one. And there's a second one a little bit lower. And there it is right there, number 2. So that's 4 Phillips head altogether. And then on the outside of the door, facing in, you will see number 5. So we'll take these caps off, expose the Phillips head screws, take those out, and then we'll come underneath here with the pry bar and we'll pry those off. All right, so I'm using my little pick, as you can see right here, and you want to get in, see if I can get a better clue. In there, squeeze it in, pry it out. So that's the first one here. And you can see if I move this clip to the side, there's a Phillips head, if you can see that. And then we'll do the same for this one underneath the door pull. Stick the pry bar in, or I said the pick, and then it'll expose the second screw here. So I'll come over. These little caps will fly, so just make sure you keep track of them when you pry them out. So this is the first one here, and one to the ground. It's all right, we'll find these. I'm in a garage here, so they're not gonna go too far. And this is number 2. Whoop. That one went almost in my eye. It's hard to do with one hand. With 2 hands, I would have caught it. But we're gonna videotape this, so we'll take the damage as it comes. And this is number 3. Whoop. And that one went flying as well, but let me go pick those up, and then we'll take these Phillips head screws out. All right, I'm gonna try to do this with one hand. So we'll take these screws out here. They'll fall to the floor, but I'll just pick them up, just so I can show it on the camera here. So that's the first one here. Here's number 2. 3 behind the door panel here. And there's 4. All right. And the 5th one is on the outside, as we mentioned before, right here. All right. Good. And then, all right, we're gonna remove one more item before we take the door panel off. which is this triangle piece here. That behind this are the screws that hold the rear view mirror in. I'm sorry, the side mirror in. So that needs to be pried out. And then if you can see right here, the door panel is actually going to be lifted up, so that will prevent it from lifting up. So if you get a little pry bar in here, that will come off, and then right here the door panel will have room to actually lift up and out. But if you ever wanted to change your side view mirror, you would take that triangular piece off, and it'd be 1, 2, 3, looks like 10mm bolts, and then the electrical connection if it's a power mirror, and you can get the mirror off that way. All right, guys, you want to grab your pry tool again and come to the bottom of the door here, and where the door panel meets the door, so where the plastic meets the metal, you want to get that in between. Let's see if I can get this on video here with one hand. You want to get that in between and pry out. Those are plastic clips, so that's what you're going to hear. Don't be scared. Once you work your way along the bottom and pry it out, then you could take your hand, just give it a quick pull and a quick pull, and that will loosen the door panel. And what you want to do here is, when you take the door panel out, make sure the handle here goes in the door panel, and then once you clear that, you'll lift up and the door panel will pop off. All right, guys, hopefully you can see this here. So you want to lift out on the door handle, on the door panel, and then up. Other side up, and then pull out. This trim piece also right here should come out first. It just comes right out. I neglected to do that, but pull out, and then you'll see the sound deadening material in the inside of the door panel, and the electrical connections are down here. Here's a little better view now. The door panel is just hanging here. You have the waterproofing and sound deadening materials that are here. They get stuck to a type of glue that is on the inside. And then you have the electrical connections, one for the speaker, and then you have 2 wires that are located right here, which go to the master switch for the door locks and for the window. Once those pop out, which is very simple, the whole door panel will come right off. Door panel goes on exactly the way it came off in reverse. So basically, there's a lip right here, and that hooks on behind the weather stripping lip here. So just put it on and snap it down. Then the rest is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Phillips. And the bottom snaps just like that. 5 Phillips heads. And then the little trim around the pull. That's it. Thanks, guys. Hope that helps.